Hey there, yogis. How are ya? Today I want to show you how to do camel pose. So I also want to show you how to do a few different variations and modifications because this pose tends to not feel great for everybody, especially in the low back. So what I want you to think about whenever you're doing this pose and really any back bending pose is pretend that you have like a corset around your hips here, around your waist. Okay, so around this part of your belly and your low back. Because the low back and back bends, you really don't want to be bending. I know from personal experience because my low back has always been super bendy, and that tends to be the place that is more bendy for most people, right? We're usually more tight here in the mid back and the upper back. So what happens is our release valves kick in, and then we tend to dump into whatever area of the body is the weakest. In this case, it's the low back. So a lot of times, instead of really finding length and then going into the back bend, we tend to dump and then bend right from the weakest part of the back. And that's really not good because that's also the place where most spinal surgeries take place, is right there in the low back, right above where the sacrum meets the rest of the spine. Okay, so we really want to make sure that we protect that area. So that being said, let's get into the first variation. So come onto your hands and knees, and then you can just rise up tall on the knees. Curl the toes under for the first variation. All right, so what I want you to focus on is keeping the tailbone lengthened down, keeping a neutral pelvis. Now, I'm not tucking the tailbone under, okay? You're just lengthening the tailbone so that the front hip bones are level to the back hip bones. From there, pretend that you've got that corset on. We'll call it like our yogi corset. So keep that on here. So we're not going to bend it all from here. It's lengthening the low back. Okay, so from there, you're going to start to bend back from the mid and upper back. So pretend like somebody's behind you, placing their hand right here on your back, like right in between your shoulder blades, pushing you up and then leaning you back a little bit at the same time. Okay, keep your hips directly above the knees. So really lift up, 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 up. So what you can do with your hands here is either have your thumbs pointing in and your fingers pointing out, or bring your hands like this so that your fingers are pointing down and your thumbs are pointing out. I like this variation because it helps to lengthen the tailbone down, okay, but both are fine. I alternate between the two. Roll the shoulders back, lift the heart up, and then tuck the chin slightly. So I usually like to keep the chin tucked a little bit instead of letting the head fall back. It just feels better for me. To come out of it, use your abs and slowly come up. So where people tend to get in trouble is they really focus on bringing their hands to their heels, okay? So then the hips come way back because they blocks on either sides of the heels, because the blocks are usually a little bit taller than the heels, so it adds more height. Same thing, lengthen the tailbone down. Don't lean back from the low back. Keep all of this stable. Lean up or lift up and back from the mid and upper back only. Okay, so you might need to lean to the side a little bit, but then square off the shoulders. Make sure your hips are above your knees. How do you know that? Well, you can take a video of yourself, and I'm just going to keep the left hand on my left hip, roll the shoulders back, keep my chin tucked slightly. If it feels fine for you to gently let the head fall back, that's fine. Use your abs to come up. You can uncurl the toes and sit back, take a couple breaths. Then you can move to the next side and do it for the same amount of breaths. Okay, next variation, you'd bring your hands to your heels. Okay, same thing. So I'll show other side. Lengthen it down, lift it up, inhale, exhale, start to come back. So if you lean to the side, fine, but then square it back off, lifting the heart, making sure your neck doesn't hurt. Taking 3 to 5 breaths, use your abs, come up. Okay, you can take a break. Next variation, both hands, either on the blocks or the heels. Again, you can do whatever feels good with the head. Either let it come back or keep the chin tucked. Okay, it's always felt better for me ever since I've been practicing yoga, usually in this pose, to keep the chin tucked a little bit, but that's totally up to you. Also, you want to make sure that your knees are parallel. So you're not letting the knees come out like this, not letting them come wide, they're parallel. Okay, next variation, uncurl the toes. Same thing to get into it here. Now, once you start to get a little bit further, then it might feel okay for the head to come back. All right, so another way to make sure that your hips are staying above your knees is to move up to a wall, okay? So you're here keeping your hips on the wall. My knees aren't touching the wall. They're about an inch from the wall. It's kind of hard to keep both on the wall. So keep the hips on the wall. You can curl the toes under, knees are parallel. Keep the hips there, then push forward. Okay, use your abs to come out. And then after you're done doing all of your camel poses, then you can do a forward fold. In between the poses, you just want to do a neutralizing pose. You don't want to do back bend, forward fold, back bend, forward fold. So just do a neutralizing pose like this, or a twist would be fine as well. Twists help prepare the body for back bends. Okay, also some smaller back bends might be good, as well as some stretches for the quads, warm up the hip flexors in the front of the body. And so like some lunges would help. And the Sanskrit for this pose is ustrasana. If you want to say it with me, ustrasana. It's ustrasana, ustrasana. All right, you guys, let me know if you have any questions about this. Let me know below in the comments, and I will be more than happy to answer. Make sure that you never push yourself to where it hurts, okay? The goal is not to come into the fullest variation. The goal is to feel sensation. So if you feel sensation right here, then you're lucky. You don't have to go any further. But if you don't, sorry, then you have to go further. Another variation, actually, I just remembered that I like is to interlace the fingers here and just to lift up. It doesn't support the back as much though. So again, it kind of depends on you, and then just do it twice. Do it the second side with the fingers, move down one. All right, thank you guys so much. I hope that this helps with your camel pose or ustrasana. It's a great heart opener. It's a good shoulder opener, and it's also good for the heart and the throat chakra as well. All right, have a great day. Namaste.